Hey guys, Dantixy back with another Borderlands video. Today asking the question, which Vault Hunter do you choose if you want to focus on sniper rifles and sniping down your targets? This is actually a complicated question because Vault Hunter's skill trees are larger and there are more pieces of loot than any other game before this. Therefore, ways you can build your Vault Hunter is more complicated than ever, but let's assume your choice is based off of who can more easily and effectively snipe down their enemies while gaining the most bonuses for doing so. Then when the chips are down, switch to a shotgun or other close range weapon to get some space again. In this video, I'll rank the 4 Vault Hunters we have access to based on these factors and show you the passives, action skills, augments, and capstones I recommend while explaining just how many bonuses we'll be stacking. So let's start with which Vault Hunter is least suited to the sniper role. I'm going to make this very simple. Both Eamon and Harlow are not suited to the sniper fantasy by quite a large margin. Both have incredible action skill usage, but not much that pushes the sniper playstyle. Eamon is last because his action skills and his passives all lean into a very active close range brawler. His Scourge action skill does give him the ability to sit back and snipe while blocking all frontal damage, but when you see the bonuses that Rafa and Vex receive, the ability to block damage will seem insignificant. He does get some abilities to get bonuses the higher his health, but again, not a huge amount. Harlow beats out Eamon because of her action skill, 0 Point, which suspends targets for you to easily snipe down, and her action skill, Flux Generator, gives you an overshield for standing in it and bonus damage for getting that overshield, but still nothing like we'll see with Rafa and Vex. Like mentioned, it's not even close. I started mathing out their builds, but it was so far behind, I decided just to tell you not to bother. So both these Vault Hunters will have some amazing and powerful builds, but not when looking to be a sniper. So who is the number 2 best sniper? Surprisingly, it's Rafa. Although it's close, he's not the best. He has a few key passives that help him gain some huge bonuses, and although his action skill helps increasing DPS, there isn't as much synergy as we get from Vex, which is why he's second. Though stick with this breakdown because he might actually still be your preference. Rafa will want to focus on the red and blue skill trees while slotting in the Peacebreaker cannons. We won't be using these cannons for their DPS, rather to boost our weapon damage and activate Rafa's trait, Overdrive, for added effects. At a base, Overdrive increases our damage by 10%, which is a nice little bonus to open a fight with, aka snipe with. In the red tree, here are the passives to consider. Scyttar for flat increased gun damage, Daft Hands for increased fire rate, then El Valiente. This makes it so Rafa deals increased damage from all sources. The fuller his shields are, the greater the bonus, up to 30%, which is doubled to 60% at full shields. That is a huge damage bonus for a sniper who will be opening fights and trying not to take damage. So if we've activated our action skill beforehand, that will be a 70% bonus damage modifier, 95% if we include Scyttar. Then we have Vitrol. The first shot fired from Rafa's fully loaded magazine deals bonus corrosive damage. Snipers and shotguns usually have a low clip size, so firing once then reloading means you'll always be getting the bonus corrosive damage. Will also mean that you can switch to a shotty when things get sticky and maximize the bonus. So on top of the 95% bonus damage, we get 55% bonus corrosive damage. Since this will apply the bonus corrosive status effect, you might also consider Pain Reaction for a chance those snipes ricochet, meaning more snipes and spreading those sniper shots, good for thinning out the herd. It combos with the Jacobs Ricochet effect like I've shown. Jacobs snipers and shotguns are usually single shot before reloading, making them perfect. The augment we want to slot in is Bullet Buddy Deluxe. It makes it so you regenerate ammo at a base, but also makes his turret shoot exploding bonus incendiary damage bullets while his magazine is full, and since we'll be aiming to use a single shot sniper and shotgun, this will be most of the time. Also, pressing the action skill button again while the skill is active will make it so Rafa consumes no ammo with his sniper, getting the bonus of passives like Vitrol without needing to reload, as well as the explosive cannon effect. Keep in mind that his cannon actually gets all of the gun damage bonuses that Rafa gets as well, putting out some significant DPS. Now, since we made it to the capstone, we might as well slot it in. With it, activating your action skill early for the bonuses spreads some status effects around, giving you that ricochet chance when the fight moves closer to you. Over in the green tree, the passive you might want to consider is Handshake Deal for the increased gun damage. However, this tree is focused around getting in close, melee defenses, and the Arc Knife action skill, so we need to give it a miss. Over in the blue tree, here are the passives to consider. First is Rinse, as you'll be reloading often with a sniper or shotty, might as well get the DPS bonus. That unlocks Preparado, which gives your action skill increased cooldown rate every time you reload. Not amazing, but it's something you'll be doing anyway. Keep in mind, activating your action skill is something that boosts your DPS. Below Preparado is First Impression. Just from the name alone, you know it's going to be perfect for a sniper. Damage. The first shot fired from a fully loaded weapon magazine gains a large amount of increased damage. Yes, this is an easy 5 points for both your sniper and shotty. So on top of the 95% bonus damage and the 55% corrosive, your snipe will be doing 40% more damage. We're up to 135% bonus plus the 55 bonus corrosive. Right next to it is El Centro, which makes it so when overdrive is active, aka when you use your action skill, and for 12 seconds after, you gain increased handling on top of the 10% damage bonus you get from overdrive, building up the longer overdrive has been active. For a sniper, super powered weapon handling is excellent as it means more steady shots and easier weak point snipes. There are a few passives that help further down, but I believe the Peacebreaker cannons are the way to go, so stick to the red tree. And that's Rafa. Activate your action skill, hold down the button so it consumes no ammo, then snipe with Reckless Abandon. Hopefully it's ricocheting around. You'll be getting at minimum 190% bonus damage per shot, and if the enemy is getting close, you can switch to a shotty and still maintain most of the bonuses, with only El Valiente suffering, since your shields will unlikely be at maximum anymore. But that leaves us with the best sniper in the game, and if you've been paying attention, you know who it is already. Vex, the #1 sniper, and I am just as surprised as you. Looking at Vex, I never expected it. She's a siren and doesn't look like she'd be the type since she's more of a necromancer style character, but Mordecai had a pet, so perhaps it's just the way it goes. In this case, using her action skill Face Familiar has her pet, Trouble, out on the hunt with her at all times. If you activate the skill though, it teleports Trouble to your target, while also making Trouble become badass for a duration. Naturally, this makes it extremely good to open fights with, get the enemy's attention, then snipe them down from safety. If this was the only thing it did, Rafa would beat out Vex, but she also gets a ton of bonuses when she does so, which means let's start in Trouble's red skill tree so you can see them for yourself. Enchantment gives bonus kinetic damage when you teleport Trouble to an enemy, which is exactly what we want to do. Later you'll see some further bonuses to kinetic damage, so keep a pin in this. Kinetic damage on a siren? Something I never thought I'd say. This is also not a small 30% bonus. Yalan Bay gives further gun damage when commanding Trouble to attack, 25% on top of the 30% bonus kinetic. Vorpal Friends gives her more crit damage, which is perfect for targeting weak points as a sniper, so assuming you get crits, your bonus is up to 70%. Over in the left branch, which we won't be investing into, has Hexus Nexus. This is an augment that taunts enemies off Vex, giving her more breathing room to snipe. The Singularity sucks in enemies and controls the battlefield for her. Now, I'm not going to mention the minions' damage, but it is significant, so you've got to put that in when you're accounting for the amount of bonus damage that Vex gets. So Hexus Nexus is perfect for what we want to do, which is to move over to the right of the branch for Infusion, which gives Vex bonus damage with weapons when she rep kits. A rep kit is a new item that heals you on a cooldown dependent on which rep kit you've slotted in. They drop like any other gear. The thing is, you can use rep kits offensively now since it does have a cooldown rather than ammo in order to boost your damage before you snipe. That's 30% bonus damage, bringing the bonus up to 100% now. The capstone Unsealed makes it so Trouble marks enemies, causing them to take increased gun damage from Vex. So you rep kit, teleport Trouble to an enemy, then snipe for huge bonus damage. That's 50% to marked enemies, not a small amount. Also, if you kill the marked target, you get further damage increases, stacking 3 times up to 30%. Over in the green tree, there are a lot of passives that help out sniping. You could lean into rep kits with guns and needles, which restores rep kit cooldowns with kills. And you'll be killing after activating it since we'll be using it offensively. This passive leads down to Fiendish Invigoration, which gives her increased fire rate when she uses the rep kit, letting her build up the damage stacks from her capstone faster. You could grab Grave Sights, which gives her increased crit damage and weapon handling when she kills, making her next snipe deal more damage and be more accurate. Grave Implements gives her damage when she kills and added 15%, but what is interesting is over in the left branch, Conjunction. It gives her increased gun damage the more full her shield. The maximum is a 30% bonus, which is already ahead of Rafa. As a sniper, you'll be hoping to sit back, so your, at the very least, opening shots will be boosted by a large amount, similar to the passive we saw in Rafa's skill tree, but in this case, Trouble should help keep you safer as he can taunt and distract enemies, whereas Rafa doesn't have this kind of luxury. But you'll need to make a choice between this passive and the next passive. In the right branch, there is Bloodshot. After using that rep kit, her next gunshot will become a Bloodshot, converting damage into kinetic damage and dealing bonus damage based on her current health. She will be high health because she just rep kitted it and is a sniper. So we have all those rep kit bonuses making this much more potent. 50% of your current health as bonus damage seems like it'll get absolutely nutty, and we're already ahead of Rafa in terms of pure damage output, so this is just icing on the cake. We already have Enchantment giving us bonus kinetic damage, but in the green tree, we have Leeching Attunement, which we could have picked up to help this, and even material components for a further kinetic boost. If we look over into the blue tree, the only passives you want to consider are Cold Iron for an easy boost to gun damage, Grave Assault for fire rate, and Grave Friends for damage. The rest is really too much investment for the payoff. So as you can see with Vex, you're almost spoiled for choice if you want to live that sniper fantasy. She has huge amounts of bonus damage and her kit works well to help the gameplay loop. You open the fight with the rep kit for bonus damage, you then teleport Trouble in, taunting enemies and giving you further bonus damage. You then can snipe until your heart's content or some enemy slips past, at which time you can switch to a shotgun and continue the pain train. Having Trouble to distract and absorb damage makes it easier to snipe, much more than you can discern by simply reading the abilities. You need to play to understand, but she also gets the most bonuses, so it makes her much more confidently slot into number 1. No notes, Vex is the sniper of Borderlands 4, to my surprise. So thanks for watching. I have a ton of guides coming for Borderlands 4 as I will be gaining early access very soon. So if you're interested, make sure you're subscribed as the algorithm will thank you. I will as well. Thanks for watching. Until next time, ciao friends.